Oh shit. Oh shit. How do I even see the fucking thing? Um, Shit. How am I gonna do this? Don't I need trading view too? Let me close everything real quick. There we go. Okay. That's really not accurate at all, but okay. All right. Um, all right, let's start. So I think I'm gonna just make this into like an actual video. I don't know if I'm gonna like if you guys have questions, I can answer them, but I'm just gonna like record the video I would be recording right now, but just doing a live stream if that makes sense. I hope the audio is fine. I'm pretty sure it is fine. Let me see. Okay, that works. Yeah. All right. So I didn't take any trades today. Reason is because I couldn't be on the computer at 9:30 at school. But I want to go over my watch list that obviously is setting up, and I also want to go over some flagged stocks. The reason is because let's look at market conditions. SPY broke out, okay, and I talked about this in my last video, which I literally posted yesterday. So it's very recent. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I would consider checking that out as soon as possible. But I want to talk about SPY because SPY, again, I said this in my last video, but it broke out, right? It went sideways, little breakout session right here. You can even go to the 4 hour. You can see that this has definitely broken out pretty nicely, in my opinion. Okay. Now, knowing that SPY is breaking out and SPY is at 585, okay, it's about to hit basically all-time highs every fucking day at this point. But it's surging, okay? It's surging. The weekly is doing really good. Now we're just waiting until it comes back down, okay? Or it keeps going back up. There's a lot of positive news. There's a lot of stuff happening. What was the I think it was SpaceX. I don't think they have. Okay, SpaceX recently landed or not landed, but catch like a booster out of the air. So that definitely helped SpaceX or Tesla or whatever stock went with that company. But if SPY's going up, that means that the breakout stocks or the about to break out stocks are going to break out, right? If SPY's going up, there are people buying, there's volume, right? Things are going to go up. And those things can be equaled out. And I'm going to go to Let me go to yahoo.com real quick. I'll show you how easy it is, right? Yahoo.finance. Okay, this is literally what you can do right now to find these stocks. You have yahoo.com, yahoo.finance. You go to markets. You click on markets. This shows you the American market, the Europe market, the Asian market. It shows you the assets, the sectors. The sectors is where we're going to be focusing because the sectors, is the most important part, right? Right now, as you can see, and I've already talked about this in another video, but the leading sector is technology. In that technology sector, there are industries, right? So every sector is broken into different industries because in the technology center, there might be industry for just GPU parts or just for like semiconductor, right? This is what's really leading it at 3.4%. Like this is leading the tech sector right now, semiconductors. And you can go into the industry and see what kind of stocks there are inside that industry. And then inside that industry, you could see which ones are actually leading, right? And you can see AMAT is at 4.3 return right now. You can see that Onto is at 3.3 or 3.2. LRCX, right? And you can look these up based on a heat map or what on the actual return. And you can see that AMAT, for example, Applied Materials, let's just copy their ticker and let's see how they're doing. Yeah. So this is one of the leading stocks. Looks like they recently just had a big upwards launch. But there's more. There's a lot more. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is you want to look most importantly in the leading sector. So anywhere in technology, I would recommend in the leading industry. But you also have to do your research, right? Because you do have to remember that this tech industry is only hyped up because of AI, right? A lot of AI stuff is coming into the market. Yes, NVIDIA, yes, AMD are making more GPUs, CPUs, better computers, better this and that to support this AI stuff. But AI is the main reason the market has been going up so much. And you just have to admit it. Is it the main reason? Absolutely not. There's other factors. But AI has been a huge, and I mean a huge factor. Okay. And companies like NVIDIA, companies like AMD, NVIDIA, FGO, AMD, MU, ADI, Intel, those all have AI or some kind of GPU, CPU incorporated in there, right? So largest companies in this industry. That's what you kind of want to look at. Now, I personally have a screener that goes through this, right? So in the screener, I have, obviously I don't want to look at real estate and banking. I was doing that earlier. But you could just say technology equipment, software and IT services. Unfortunately, that's all I have for Webull, and you can just go through them. For me, right, the market cap has to be above $1 billion just to be able to trade. That means the market cap itself, it's got shares being traded. The P ratio is up. The volume at least above $1 million, and total equity at least above $1 billion. This one doesn't really matter, and then anything above all the EMAs, right? So that's the screener, right? Now, if we look at stocks that are currently setting up, I have eBay. Now, this one didn't break out yet, but it is something I'm watching. eBay is 32 billion market cap. It's got a 13 P ratio. It's got 3.4 average volume. So there's a lot of money flowing into this. Then you can look at the news. What's going on in the news for eBay? Obviously, you saw it just recently had a breakout right down here, which I also talked about. Also did not take, unfortunately, but I did talk about this. And it's been going up for a while. Now, it has room to grow because it's all-time high. And if you look here, the 52-week high is only 67.72. Okay, that means that it's close to reaching not only 67.72, but it's also close to 76.51, which is all-time highs for eBay. So this has room to grow, right? Obviously on the weekly, it's a little bit overextended. Can this go down with SPY? Can this come down a little bit? Sure, yes. 100% yes, it can. If this breaks out again and sets up again, this is a little bit tight. This is something I don't love to do, right? But it's very tight, right? It could break out tomorrow. I would just need a very thin candle tomorrow. As you can see here in the previous breakout with eBay, right? Very thin candles. Like, just look at this. 4 days before it actually broke out, super thin, super thin, super thin, extremely thin, extremely thin. That's a very telltale sign, and the volume is kind of dying here. Very telltale sign that a breakout's coming. Here, I mean, there's a lot of volume. It's a big candle. It's not thin. That's a thin candle, but that's not thin. That's engulfing. We don't like that. LMT. This is very far reach because if you just look at the recent days, LMT has been absolutely bombing this fucking stock. I mean, it's just fucking been bomb. This is obviously a defense stock, if you didn't know. It's also at $610. That's expensive, man. Those option contracts are not going to be cheap. I'll tell you that right now. And that is not cheap at all. So I'm actually going to take this off because these contracts are not cheap at all. And I don't like that. That's not how you make money. But I'm going to just keep it in the watch list just to see how this set up, right? Because it's just going sideways, right? But it's a defense stock. It can go up and down whenever it wants to. It has earnings almost next week. So I'm not going to actually, I'm going to keep looking at this. I'm not going to trade this though. Spotify. Okay, Spotify is a little more aggressive. I'm going to get rid of the EMAs. Okay. Let me get just, okay, like that. So Spotify, let's look on the weekly, has been performing pretty well. Its market cap is at $74 billion. Its volume is averaging around $1 million, almost 900K. So not the best, not the worst. Okay. You can see that its 52-week high is at 389. And it's currently at 372, and its high here in that range is 389. So it has room to grow. It has room to come up to 389. It has room to go up $20. Here, all I'm watching and all I'm really seeing is it went up. Yes, it went down a little bit, but it's going sideways, right? This, we're only worrying about, where's my box? We're only kind of worried about this area here, if that makes sense, right? That's the part that's going sideways. That's the part where kind of, that's obviously hitting the 9 EMA and the 20 if you want it. Let's look at that MA. It's riding the MA, it's riding the EMA. So there's something happening here. It's definitely setting up. Is it setting up very aggressively? Yes. Almost like Apple here that I'll talk about in a second. But Spotify, yes, is setting up very, very aggressively. I can go more into depth about why I'm investing in all these and might be investing in all these, but right now, just out of the screener, these look like they can set up. These look like it can be tight, right? This candle, the next candle can be really, really tight and break out, right? Because all I need is confirmation of breaking out here at 380, for example, and I could target, hypothetically, let's do this real quick. What is it? Spot, right? Go over trading view. Let's say hypothetically we draw our line here. Let's say we want to be a little more aggressive and do that. We go on the 1 hour, just theoretically. Actually, no, we gotta go on the 1 day. Its average ADR is 2.1. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do this at 20, 2.7, 2.3. Okay, 1.9. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that its average ADR is 1. Okay, or 2. So 2% per day. Okay, what that means is that when it breaks out, it's going to go 2%. Now, what you want to do is you want to calculate if this was going to break out, you want to hold it for what, 2 to 5 days. So let's do 4 days times 2. Obviously, we all know that's 8. So it's going to move 8%. Okay. So 8% is a lot. Let's go to the 1 hour. Hypothetically, let's just say it does break out and we end up here breaking out. We go anywhere from here, 380. And then we go up what? We say 8%. 7%. Shit. Let me go higher. Okay, so 8% is right around 410. Okay, 410. That's your mark. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? But that means that it has to move around 2% a day. Now I can do more because I don't really trust this this indicator. You can do a little more research here on Spotify, right? If you really dive into Spotify, which could be a really good company to invest, you can see the average move of the day, right? So let's just test. Let's do 0.7, 1.4, 0.8, 1.1, 1.8, 1.3, 1.3. Okay. So the average just in this range right here, okay, just the average that it's going up here, you want to be, I wouldn't say risky, but 8% seems like a lot for the stock, right? So let's actually recalculate the percentage. And knowing that our highest is probably 1.7 and our lowest is 0.8, the average is probably around like what, 1.3, 1.2. So let's just say it's 1.2 times 4. That leaves us with 4.8%. So from that hour rate, we go back to the hour. Hypothetically, it breaks out tomorrow. We go from 380 and we go up. What do we say? 1.2 times 4, 4.8. So we go 4.8%. 4.8% is right at 389. Okay, this to me, just looking at this, seems reasonable, correct? In 4 days, this can make a 4.8% move, right? Because of the research I just did on the few days, the average I did on the few days. Could I do more days and get it more accurate? Yes. But you're saying that in 4 days, it's going to go from 380 to 398. So it's going to literally earn almost $20 more in 4 days, right? That's what we're saying. And then all you do is you go back to Carvana, okay? And you say, okay, well, in 4 days, it's going to hit 398, okay? You go back to Webull, go to options, and you say, okay, I want to hold it for obviously more than 4 days. So it's not going to be 4 days. It's going to be the next stop. So 11 days, right? This way you have the contract for a little more. Then you go all the way down to what we said, 398. So it's a little far. Damn. Wow. It's all the way down here. So 398 is right here. 397.5. That's the one where you'll be taking only $92. Okay. For 11. Now, the reason why this doesn't have open interest currently, or literally no volume or any interest at all, is because this hasn't broken out, right? This is going down. But if tomorrow this comes back up, spikes a little bit, or even like becomes very, 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 very small, this I can see this going to 398 easy. Very easily, yes. 100%. That's just how you do it, right? And I can set a note or whatever. Meta. Meta is very aggressive. I wouldn't particularly love to trade this. Weekly, yeah, it's very, what's it called, overvalued or whatever. It's lagging between the EMA, so it needs to come down at one point. And this is like, it's set up so quickly and it broke out already. It's just, I don't know, I don't like this. See, there's like, I can't like, there's no clear like setting up. I wish this set up for longer, if that makes sense. The volume died down. Don't get me wrong on that. The volume did die down. Earnings are like almost next week, so I'm not going to do that. Let's talk about McDonald's though. Donald's. This one I had on my radar for a while. I kept it after this went up so long. I kept it. I want to see what happens with McDonald's. And it went up. And then it went sideways. And it went fucking sideways. Guess what happens after it went sideways? That's right. It fucking broke out. It broke out like majestic. Like this was the best. This was insane. And I could have called this. Okay. I literally could have called this. I'm going to also just show you on the 1 hour, like how just perfect this was. Like just look at this, just straight sideways. These lines are lined up exact perfectly, and then just boop from 305 to 310, $5, just like that. Let's go to McDonald's. Average ADR 1.0. Okay, is this true? Average ADR. 1, 2. Okay, maybe it's like 1. Let's pull out the calculator. We want to hold it for 4 days, right? So let's just do 1. So 4%. 4%. It breaks out. Let's see. I'm gonna break it like that. Okay, so it breaks out right here. So 4%. Shit, we're not gonna be high enough. %4 is right here. Shit. 317. 317. Okay. This is reasonable. I think I can actually do this a little bit lower because I don't think it's going to do that in 4 days exactly. Hence why you buy 11-day contract. But in 11 days, you could say it hits 317. Let's look at Webull. And let's say 11 days, 317. 317.5. Currently has 81. Like, this is the perfect price range for these. Little to no open interest currently because it hasn't. I personally would have been in this 317 easy. Only $7. Man, listen, it earned almost $5 today. This is crazy because this hasn't. I mean, the last time it earned like almost $5 was from 292 to 298. I mean, yeah, that's not even. That's crazy. This is a really good day. So it's about to have a really good run. But you could have had this, kept holding it, held it for 11 days, and made a lot of money. Apple. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Apple, but I really want to invest in this because I should have invested in literally yesterday because I think it's gonna fucking bounce. Like, this is about to be crazy. Oh, I just saw something in the news. The ancient. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna flag this real quick. Apple ready to invest. AMD, Nvidia. Yeah, that's literally it. That's all I got for you guys. Do you guys have any questions?